Hello. All right, welcome back to the stream. Is this working? Seems a little slow. It's just the RDB connection. All right, so if you were here before, you know that I've modified a Kinesis Advantage keyboard to have mechanical keys in the function key row. This is a second keyboard that I own. I have two because I use one at home and one at work. And this one still got the rubber dome keys on it as the function keys, and they're like the other keyboard. They've kind of given out over the years. The rubber domes just wore out. So let me just check something here really quick. All right, and yeah. So actually, I've got all my 3D printed parts. I designed all this in the past series of episodes. If you're interested in seeing what the design process was for this. Just have a look at the past episodes. I've got it all printed out. I've got my keycaps as well. So with this, hopefully I should be able to make my custom PCBs and replace intentionally the entire set of function keys with mechanical switches. Alright, and here are the switches themselves. They are Cherry MLs. And they are what Kinesis uses in the second generation of these keyboards. So it is kind of late, and I am working tomorrow morning. So I'm actually just going to dive right into this, and it's probably going to be more of a sort of a show and tell a little, but not tell so much tonight. So let me just adjust this a little further down so that you can see what I'm doing there. All right. Is that? No, more like this. All right. Okay, so my apologies. This keyboard is going to be grungy. I haven't cleaned it out yet, but I do have a vacuum cleaner nearby and a set of compressed air. I'm really starting from scratch. So first things first, if you've never opened this keyboard before, there are 6 screws on the back. And use a regular Phillips screwdriver to take it apart. So here goes. Now, this keyboard has been apart before. Like the other keyboard, the function keys are really, they've completely given out now. You know, I used to be in the first couple of, these are really old keyboards, by the way. They're from like the sort of early 2000s. This one might be from the mid 2000s, actually. The other one I had was from 2002, I'm not sure. Yeah, this one is 2002. There we go. So, oh wait, unless that's a corporation, the copyright date, I'm not sure. Anyways, they're pretty old, and the function keys wear out, you know, after a certain number of years. So I've taken it apart before to clean and then to add like foil pads and stuff to the function keys. All right, so I've got the screws out, and when you pull this apart, the first thing to know, see, this is actually not so bad, but so there's this connector here. Kind of like this is the USB logic board, and this is kind of like the motherboard, if you will. It's got a microcontroller on there, and that's where all the macros and the key swapping and stuff is done. The ROMs are there as well. Sorry, not the ROMs, the static, I don't know if it's SRAM or battery powered. Is it battery powered? No, some kind of non-volatile memory. All right, so I'm going to set this aside for now. I'm not going to need it for a little while. All right, and so you can see here that I have already removed, I've already sort of added my own glue initially. These are plastic posts that they melt down at the factory to hold these pieces of plastic in place. Now we're getting rid of this completely. We're actually going to change these connectors as well. These ribbon connectors, I'm going to replace them with headers. And the first time I did this, I actually had a very hard time because I did not have I guess desoldering gun. Sorry, I'm just looking for alcohol here. So alcohol is going to make it easier to get this glue off. It really does a nice job on hot glue. And I will be right back. I just need a tissue or a rag of some sort. All right, sorry. So I'm just gonna use this little paper towel here. Get the alcohol on this. Actually, you know what? I think I'm actually gonna switch strategies. I'm gonna use a dropper because I really don't mind. All right, there we go. A little eyedropper. Put some alcohol in the cap. Just a little bit. Really don't need much. There we go. And then put a bit of alcohol here, 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 and here. All right. Now I'm gonna just wait for this to soak in a bit. Use a knife, X-Acto knife, to take off the glue. Sorry, I'm covering it with my hand there, but you can see that it really just comes right off the blob once you've got the alcohol on there. I'm not sure why that is, actually. I've never looked up the chemistry behind it, but it's a neat trick I picked up from the RC plane community. There we go. All right, so all three are off on this side. Take these blobs off here. That's one. If I can't, whoops, show a little better. It's one, that's two, and three. All right, so now these should hopefully come out pretty easily. Before I pull them out, I'm going to liberate these ribbon connectors here, the white connectors that you can't really see on the camera, unfortunately. Oh, got half of it out. All right, there we go. So now I've got the ribbon connector, it's out. So in theory, I can just pull this right out. Oh, look, I've got the backing plastic plate here. I need to unscrew this, or can I just, oh, there you go. You just pull it out. This is a flexible PCB. Pull that right out. See, I had added foil to this to help the contact, but eventually the PCB just wore out so badly that it wasn't. It didn't work anymore. Sorry, I've got a stream health problem here. Okay. Seems like it works. Maybe? Unclear. Does it work? It seems like it works. Yeah, I see moving pixels. Yeah, okay, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, so then I'm just gonna pull this second connector out. Like so. Sorry, it's really hard to show this on camera. It's so small. Okay, got it. And then pull the ribbon right out. And then this comes right out like this, like so. And see, this is what happens eventually with the foil. So the foil just gets unstuck. It moves around. It makes false contacts. Stuff just doesn't work anymore. And then these pads here, some of them are just completely worn out. You can't even see, but there's like no graphite left. I mean, they've had a good and long life. Thank you very much for your service. All right. So, the next step, I'm just going to put this away. By the way, I only ever use that alcohol for electronic stuff, so it's fine to just put it back in there. All right, so I'm going to take the motherboard and the circuits out of the keyboard in preparation for desoldering. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change these white connectors here. I'm going to remove those and put some headers on there. So to do that, I'm going to make use of my desoldering weapon. Nice. Water on my sponge. So last time, because I mentioned I didn't have my desoldering gun, I pulled a trace on the other board, which made things a little complicated. I had to jumper back to the microcontroller and everything. But this time around, hopefully, things should be better. Oh, look at this. This one actually has removable connectors. But not these ladder boards. Okay, so the other one had these fixed connectors. See, these are fixed, these are soldered. But these are removable ribbon connectors. The other keyboard that I had fixed connectors everywhere. So I had to take this and remove it and move it around. So in this case, what I think I'm going to do instead is I'm going to loosen these, but I'm also going to disconnect the ribbon connectors here and just pick out the middle part. It's going to make it less, it's going to be less dangerous, if you will. So let me just take, oops, I didn't mean to step on that. Let me just take, where is this thing? Is it here? Yes, it is. All right. Okay. Parts bin. So put my screws in there. Make sure I don't lose anything. There's not much to lose, but you never know. Okay, I'm gonna throw out the crap. All right. Okay. So where's that screwdriver? Here it is. I'm going to first. So there's a few screws you need to undo here. I'm going to loosen these ones for the finger bowls, the finger wells, if you will, just so that this can move a little bit. Oh, there's actually. Whew, I hope that this looks the same, but there's a few minor differences here with the other keyboard. I hope the design of my 3D printed part still works, but it looks like I'm going to be okay. All right, I'm just pulling out or loosening the key wells here a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to make use of these new tweezers that I got to pull apart the. Oh wait, is this removable? Yeah, it should be. Okay. Okay. These are nice connectors. Wow. Okay, so these are now disconnected. I'm going to take the screws off the main motherboard. Actually, the screw with no S. There's only one. Okay, put this in the bin. And then this comes right out. So I'm just going to loosen, or actually free up, the thumb pads. Ferrite bead here. Make sure not to lose that. If I recall properly, what's nice about this keyboard is it actually moves. No, that's it. There's one that's different. The one with the ferrite core has a bit of a longer screw. That's it. So these are pretty short, but the one that goes through this ferrite core is a bit longer because it has to get through the white bracket there, whatever you want to call that. Okay. All right. Okay, so will this come out? Yeah. Just gotta loosen this a little bit more. And there we go. Okay. So unscrew this. Okay. All right, so in theory, I should be able to free up this center portion right now. looks like it's gonna, oh, it's not. Okay, I'm gonna need to remove the finger wells, I think, because it's not quite coming out there. Okay. All right, this is one of them. So you can see now the keyboard's half empty. Put this in the bin. Sorting tray. All right, get this out there. Now I do have new wrist pads and everything for these keyboards as well. I'm gonna give it a thorough cleaning when I'm done. But right now my goal is really to get this just functional and working. Okay. All right, so now this is apart. Okay, so the PCBs eventually are gonna mount in here and over here. That'll be a step afterwards. First thing, modify the motherboard. All right, yeah, this is gonna be considerably easier than the first keyboard. Okay. Famous last words. All right. So I'm going to I won't need the iron right now, but I will soon. So, like so. This guy is an, I don't even know what the brand is. Gauge. I'm really not sure how to pronounce this. Gauge. I'm not sure. ST2091. It's not super expensive. I think it's around, it's a little more than $200 Canadian, something like that. Maybe $250, I'm not sure. But it's great. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna heat it up. The thing with these soldering guns though is you have to be careful with them because they require just a little bit of maintenance to make sure that they stay operational. You kind of have to take care of them. So regular soldering irons, you want to make sure that the tip remains wet. Basically, you want to always have solder on there so that it doesn't rust when it cools down or when the temperature fluctuates. With this guy, it's a bit of the same thing. There's an extra challenge though. It's that there's a tube. It's hollow here, and so solder can get stuck anywhere in the tip here. So you want to make sure that when you're done, that this is clear. And to do that, you want to. Then there's a couple tricks, and then there's this like reamer cleaning tool thing that I'm going to use at the end to try to make sure that nothing at least completely obstructs the end of the iron. So just checking here, but it's getting there. It's still heating up. All right, it's good. So you'll see this is pretty easy actually. I don't even need to use like there we go. So that's one pin free. Bit of splatter there. Ooh. These are actually the smallest leads I've done so far. It's a little hard to feel when the solder melts, to tell you the truth. Normally you can kind of feel the gun sort of settle in around the pin, but okay, so just use a magnifying glass here to see what's going on. These are really tiny. So it actually did a pretty good job. There's only one that still has a bit of solder in it. The thing is that the pins are all still kind of... Let me just actually add a bit of solder here. So okay. And yeah, so the pins are kind of just stuck to the edge. Just need to work them around a little bit to remove them from the... Oh, is that the... No, it's not quite moving yet. Well, it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is like a 15-pin connector, so it's not an easy one-shot deal. But the job will be much cleaner than the previous one. Okay. I almost wish I had a microscope here. Okay. You can see it moving a little bit, which is a good sign. Wow, this is just a pain in the butt. Let me actually use a toothbrush. Let's see what's going on a little better there. I should have kept that all going. I'm just cleaning up crap there. Okay, so I gotta be careful because you can see that the heat is starting to damage the pads a little bit. This is not an easy job, eh? Actually, going to turn this down just a little bit. Wondering if a better strategy is actually not to just use the usual kind of strategy of flooding everything with solder and pulling it off. Wow. Let me have a look at this again. Ah, man, I've almost got it. It's just it's so close. It's so close. Okay, let me try. This hole in particular. Bit of a pain. I was hoping this would go better than this. Here, let me try something really quickly. With a knife, perhaps. Just because the solder bridges are so tiny, there's just trace amounts of solder left. So this one's free. This one's free pretty much. I can see it moving. It's infuriating. All right, let me just take this off for a sec. All right. Okay. Just clean this a little bit because it's driving me nuts. Okay. I need like a hot air tool. More tools to buy. Okay. So I'm gonna switch. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch the head on my soldering iron. Try to drag desolder this thing. For this, I'm gonna use a fat tip. Just give it all I've got, really. Works better if you plug it in. But for this though, I need help, and I need wires. Well, I could use also with a pan of ice. Actual main brand pan of ice, but I do have this universal thingamajigger that I think will work in this case. Okay, I'm going to want to desolder from this side. So I'll clamp it this way. Okay, so I'm going to use a lot of solder here. A little bit of love. These pliers to gently rock this apart. Okay. This is really tough. Oh, it's starting to come, it's starting to come. Yeah, it's coming, it's coming. This pins are... What an ornery little connector. Come on. It's almost there. It's really just coming slowly. Okay, wait. Got a problem here. Alright. It's gonna make things easier. Alright. Aha! There we go. Now, for literally the $500 question, did I screw some pads up? Everything looks good. I mean, it's not the happiest board I've seen, but it's definitely not terrible. All right, I'll be able to clean that up with the desoldering gun in a moment. So I'm just gonna do the other one for now. I'm actually gonna flip this around. It's a little tough because the nut broke off on this thing, so I kind of screwed it in permanently. All right. Okay, so more like do I really need to do that? I'm not sure. I think I just changed strategies mid-course. All right. So, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do the second connector. I'm just gonna go straight for the. Okay, then just straight for the Victor here. Actually pull off the mobile part without any problems. I'm just gonna drag solder across this here. By drag solder, I mean drag desolder. Just drag, put solder everywhere. And kind of freshen up all these solder joints. There is one of the pins that connects to the ground plane, right? So it is a lot longer to kind of heat up and get moving. Oh, this is going a lot faster, actually. Wow, this is coming right out. Wow, that was painless. Yeah, wow, okay, that's really not so bad. So I'm just gonna clean this iron tip, tin it, and then turn the iron off. Then I'm going to clean these pads carefully. gun. All right. Okay, so yeah. This is fantastic. This, so. These pads are so small that I kind of have to angle the desoldering gun to get it to contact with what little solder is left. Oops. Almost there. Come on. Alright, I think I can actually see clean through. Can I? I can. Alright, I'll clean this up. Alright, I think maybe I've got the temperature set a little too high on this thing because it's singeing the PCB, so I'm just going to turn it down a little more. Do the other half. Let's re-tin this a little bit. Tip, because the thing with the desoldering iron is that you're picking up on all kinds of crap from the years, obviously, and also from, well, so like this is not lead-free solder that's on this board, so it's non-eutectic, and it's sometimes you're picking up part of it, and it really smells terrible. I don't know why. There's a lot of these devices have a terrible smell when the solder goes up. Okay, let me see if I can actually empty this, because I think it's kind of getting there. Okay. Should have actually emptied it before I started. I didn't think. All right, slowly but surely. Yeah, I think the ideal setup here would have actually been with a smaller nozzle on this gun. It's a little too big for this job. It's the only one I've got, unfortunately, but I'm gonna finish this with a pump. So that's a good lesson learned, though. And this must still be hot. Yeah, it's quite hot. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take the tip out. just trying to shake this massively hot tip out. Come on. There we go. All right, put this one in. All right. Actually, I'm gonna bring out the again, and then I'm gonna finish this with the solder pump. This circuit board's tired. So I'm going to be soldering from this side and I'm pumping from the other side. All right. Okay. I'm just going to line up the pump with the hole beforehand, and I heat up the solder. All right, looks like a charm. Wait, did that work though? Okay, got it. Okay. And it's kind of a tough position for the wrist. Oops, I've got like a crappy crap there. All right, just making my way down. Here. So I have to say, this wasn't a great showing for the desoldering gun. It's my first sort of, let's call it a mitigated success. But it really is an amazing tool otherwise, though. It's really cool. Either that one or another one. I know the Hako ones are supposed to be amazing. It was a little out of, I don't want to say my reach, but a little more than I wanted to put on a single tool at that point. I'd love to. All right. This is starting to look pretty good. Just really clean up one hole over here, just one. Just a little bit of solder left. All right, come on. All right, that looks clean. Super. All right, this was definitely one of the sort of scarier parts. Okay, I'm just gonna clean this up again. Get rid of this for now. Needed a minute, but that's fine. Okay, well, this is not so bad, if I may say so. I mean, it's not. Man, the board's all singed and burnt, but it'll work. No traces lifted, which is what's important. No traces cut, it looks like. This is good. All right. So now I'm gonna put headers on this, and the idea is this is gonna be face down, so the headers have to stick up through this. And my headers are here. Yeah. Okay. So a row of 7 and a row. Sorry, I said 15, but it's a 13 pin connector. Sorry. Okay, so row 7 and row 6. Let's split it here. Got some. Do I have any golden ones left? Don't. Oh, I do. All right. So, some cutters actually. Yeah, with the iron. So these are male pins, so I don't need to sacrifice anything. Put this away, put this away. Now should be okay. So let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's 1, 7 pin. Okay, doesn't quite fit. We'll get to that in a second. 6 right beside it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and then 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Now, why doesn't this quite fit? Okay, these pins are actually kind of big for the holes. Now I'm pushing them in. I want to make sure not to lift any pads. I've got one of them in. Okay, and okay, this one, it's going to need a little more cleaning, I think. This one, this one fits. It's gonna fit, looks like. Feels like, maybe. Okay. All right. It's a pretty tight fit, so it's, I actually don't even need to hold them in there. What I solder, it's kind of nice. But this one, I've got a little bit of a spooble that I need to clean up. I'm actually going to pull out the device for this again. Just mess it up. Okay, so I actually learned that this with a 3D printer, I think the technical term for what I'm about to take out is a booger, which makes sense. That is what it looks like, right? And it's the third hole from the end. So there we go. Much better. See if I can put that in there. Oh, looks like it's gonna go in. And yes it does. All right, so now I'm ready to solder these pins here. Basically, I've got headers here and here, male headers. And what's gonna happen is when I make the copper tape PCBs for the key wells, they're gonna come and connect here with some female female DuPont connectors, basically. So, all right, I'm gonna solder this right away. Should be not too bad, hopefully. Pins down. Oops. Put just a little too much solder there. Looks like better. And the last one to the ground plane. Looking good. Move just a little bit, but it's actually not a problem because it's not going to be a full row connector. They're all individual connectors, so it doesn't really matter if the pins don't light up. It's really subtle anyways. Yeah, it's really quite subtle. Okay, so I'm gonna work my way through this second set of pins. Three to go. All right. Yeah, that first side there with the desoldering gun, I put too much heat on the board, but it'll survive. It'll survive. In fact, I see now that it's possible that my PCB design could have been simpler because a lot of these pins are actually just connected together. Probably some kind of a common ground or something. If I'd bothered to look at this side of the circuit diagram, I might have simplified the PCBs, the Corte PCBs, but whatever, such is life. Okay, just gonna clean up a little bit. All right, just gonna have a glass of water. Okay, so the motherboard is modified. I'm going to set that aside for now. And then the next step is going to be to put together the copper tape PCBs. Now for this, I need actual copper tape. And just a little bit more cleaning here. All right. I think I'm kind of done with the alcohol for now, so I'm going to put this away and avoid some spills. And a little bit of space. All right. So, first thing to do is just make sure that everything lines up properly. Sorry. And it does. I'm going to probably have to ream these a little bit before I can actually put the switches through. Because the print is pretty good, actually. I'm kind of happy. But it's never perfect. And I have pretty tight tolerances on there. Because you want these to stick, right? So, alright. So I'm going to ream them. Oh, wait. I forgot to... Ooh, that's fine. I forgot to clean the desoldering iron. Ooh. Get distracted and rushing. Okay, so... You see, still heating up, but... Uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna let it heat up a little bit. All right, so I've got this little tiny hand drill here that I can use to kind of help these holes along. Now I'm just gonna check the diameter of the drill bit that I need. This looks like the right one. Okay. I'm just gonna ream everything. Boop. After this, I'm actually going to put together the PCB itself. So I'm going to just cut a piece of tape, basically stick it on there, make sure it's all nice and flat and stuff by running a eraser over it, and then I'm going to cut where the little trenches are on the PCB, and that's going to isolate, that's going to perform isolation of the little bits of copper one from another, and then we should be off to the races. All right, that's one. Realizing now I could have cleaned these off air. I apologize. It won't be too long, actually, and you get to see the process kind of from start to finish. The only thing, really the only thing I did off air is to print these parts, which on my printer was pretty slow because, well, it's a kit, and even though I modified it to improve it and everything, it's still well, let's say it's not a genuine Prusa, but it's functional. All right, halfway done. These holes are actually in much better shape than the ones off the original prints. They're really quite a bit better. I've improved the print settings since then and rebuilt the cod end a couple of times. and generally things have gotten better. All right. So almost done with the third piece. All right, here goes, and then this is the last piece. Almost done. It's kind of a chore. All right, more than halfway done. All right, we're good. Okay. I'll put this one back here for now. Have a look at this desoldering gun. Dead, is it alive? It's alive. Awesome. All right, put a bit, re-tin this. Sure the tip stays in shape. All right, now I can turn it off. Put this back in the bag, the little cleaning tool. All right, okay. So now I'm just going to, quote, dry fit these switches to make sure that they all fit properly. Because if I put the tape on and then realize that they don't, that something's not been ringed properly, it's not going to be great. So everything lines up. Okay. If I recall properly, I kind of took okay, there we go. This fits nicely. I'm just fitting the switches in there one by one. And be careful not to bend any leads. If anything doesn't want to make it in there, it's probably because it's not aligned like this one. If you bend the lead, it's not the end of the world, but you gotta straighten it out. And you can't kind of, you have like, I'd say 2 or maybe 3 tries at this. But other than that, you're gonna break the lead off, and that's a switch down the drain. These are actually not cheap. They're like I think I paid like $1.50 per switch or something. Is that right? No, it's more like it's actually a lot more than that. Wait, I got 18 times 2 is 36. Oh yeah, I got 40 switches. Yeah, it was more than $1 per switch. It was about $1.25 per switch, all told. Okay. All right. So now, just putting more switches in there. And the key wells, not the key wells, sorry, the switch wells, because I'll show you, but basically here, the way the plastic is made, it's made so that the switches sit inside it. sorry, the autofocus isn't great. Normally I take manual control, but I'm just on roll here, so take my word for it. All right. All right. Is this lining up? Whoops. Something that I miss. Quote. Almost didn't ring there. I've got one that's a little ornery. Okay. This is so nice. It's fitting so much better than the original print. Here, the print quality doesn't make a difference. I mean, you can get away. It's a tough print. That's the thing. It's a tough print for the printer because all these little holes that I was reaming earlier. I mean, the first layer has to be almost perfect, right, for the holes to show up properly, the right diameter, right tolerances. Plus, it has to adhere properly to the print bed. It's got all these little tiny circles of plastic it's trying to lay down, and then every time it moves and travels, it's going to rip one or two off. So I had to really mess around with the settings there to improve the situation. One of the things that really helped was obviously sort of the usual, you know, improving the temperature, smoothing the first layer down so you give it a bit more thickness and you actually have clearance between your print head and your print bed. But the one that made the most difference, in my case I'm using Cura, is the setting that says to optimize the order in which walls are printed. And the reason for this is that it allows it to kind of do sort of for one of the circles, one of the holes, it does whatever you pick there, either outer and then inner or inner and then outer, but it does them all for that circle at once instead of doing just the outer, which is a tiny bit of plastic, then moving to the next. When it moves over, a little bit of plastic oozes out of the head, and it doesn't quite count as a retraction because it's not far enough, but you lose material out of your head, and the flow doesn't really fully restart in the short amount of time or short amount of print length that it has to do the next circle anyways. So using that optimization setting really helped. All right, so the switches are in. This is good. I've got my 2 switch boards functional. I'm going to just really quickly line them up with the CT PCBs, the copper tape PCBs, to make sure everything's fine and that the legs stick through as they should and that everything works. And it does. Okay, this is great news. Now, when you build this, if somebody else feels crazy enough to try this, the tolerances on this thing are tiny. I mean, I iterated on tenths of a millimeter to no end. I have like, I'm not sure, I have 16, I don't know, 15, something like that, revisions of these pieces. You're taking off a fraction of a millimeter here and there, and the switch legs are so short, it's going to be really hard to solder them. Well, really hard. It's some work. So you want to make sure that these switches are pushed as tightly as you can. All right. But luckily, man, these prints are so much better than the first ones. It's so much easier. It's crazy. So you want to get these legs to stick out if you can. Just even a little bit really helps. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay, all right, awesome, this works. Okay, so I'm happy with this. Wait, how come I have so many switches left over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I bought 50 switches. No. I'm certain I bought 40. I guess they made a mistake. Strange. Okay, I'm gonna take this off, peel these off again, leave these with the switches aside for now. Remaining switches back over here. All right. And now it's time for the copper PCB. So technique. All right, use a cutting board here, or a self-healing mat, to do this, and then pull out some scissors. I have some scissors I really love here, some titanium scissors, just to cut this right about the length. So I'm going to, I wonder if I could actually move this a little bit closer. Could I? And then just angle it down a little bit so we can see better. Maybe like that. Let's try that for a bit. Okay. So I'm going to cut this just a little bit longer than what I need. Well, actually, the perfect length would be great. Doesn't, well, it does need to, there's a bit of slack here. So this is great. Okay, and then this will be the same. Perfect. I'm going to cut this right down the middle. Okay, so what's happening here is I'm going to put this copper on this, and then there are these little grooves. I'm going to trace those grooves out with a knife. It's going to isolate, and then I'm going to ream or drill quotes right through the little holes in order to make vias of a sort. They're not really vias because there's no copper in the hole, but they're going to allow me to solder just holes, basically. Allow me to solder the legs there. Okay, I'm going to need an eraser for this part. Okie dokie. So this is the part. I don't know. I don't really have a hand for this. Kind of suck. Kind of try to tape it to my fingers as I unroll it so that it doesn't coil all over itself, and then try to line it up, sort of. All right, okay, this isn't so bad. I'll do the other one right now. Okay. All right. So now I'm just using my fingers for a sec here, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to trim the excess off the borders. It shouldn't be too bad. You can cut PCB. So if you push it down with your finger, you can really see where the edge of that piece of plastic is. So you can just run the knife down the edge, and the tape just cuts right up. It's really easy to cut. It's so magical. It's actually kind of satisfying. You can feel the copper giving way. All right, so that's one kind of blank, I guess, ready to go. And I cut the other. Whoops. So one thing you gotta be careful is to not tear the tape. You don't want to tear the tape, but you do need to cut it. So. Okay. Okay, so now the trick is to use an eraser to really rub out the details of the under. See, I can even see like the print lines here, the lines of the travel of the print head. I don't know if it'll focus on this, but all right, this one's worth it, man. Oh, you can kind of see there. Yeah, you can see the grooves where the all right. Compare with this section that I haven't rubbed yet. You can really quite see the difference. All right. So here it goes. It's kind of like revealing a magical drawing. It's really cute. I try to film this with better situation at some point. Just design another PCB and print it. In fact, this is this is like a worst case because component legs are so short and the thing is so cramped, and I had to like incorporate 3D design in here, so I literally just drew the PCB out by hand. It's modeled in Fusion 360, which is a bit of a, I mean, it's okay, but it's not really designed for this kind of stuff. So I see like before and after here. This is the before, and this is the after. You can really see like the details. All right, so I'm gonna erase this one too. This reminds me of my youth when I'd eat Kinder eggs when I lived in Germany, and I love the toys, but I really liked flattening out the aluminum paper. Uh-oh, I made a mistake here. I was erasing with the plastic. I had no eraser left. Okay, it should be good. Kind of marred the tape, but that'll be okay. Okay. Not so bad. We started what, an hour and a half ago? Okie dokie. All right, let's go. So now I'm just going to cut through these traces. It's really easy because there's a void underneath, right? So as you cut, the knife is guided by the trench, so to speak. All right. Just kind of dragging the knife through there. If you screw up and you cut something you shouldn't have, it's pretty easy to fix because you can just solder across two sections, right? I'm trying something a little new here. Normally you just need to drag the blade through the trench. Trying to just wiggle the blade a little bit to really push the tape against the sides. Is this I'm not sure actually. See what it's turning out to do? I'm basically cutting the, there we go. Basically separating little pieces of copper. I might actually need to pull up the design for this just to make sure. I didn't miss any cuts. So this isn't great as a serial production process, but for a couple one-offs it's really not so bad, and it's really easy to test I mean, by the time you're done, it's basically just behaves like a PCB, right? It's isolated, and you can just test it like any other PCB. So you can basically validate your cuts, and then it's really easy to just fix any mistakes you made, you know. Now, speaking of mistakes, one mistake I made here is I accidentally I kind of cut like a little sliver of copper, and then it was just sticking out there, which is making a short circuit with the neighboring pad, so to speak. Okay. All right. I don't know about this wiggling technique. I'm not sold. I think it might rather just squeeze the blade down when I can. Another little sliver. Squeeze the whole thing in like you saw me do a moment ago there. I basically push the whole thing down into the groove. Okay. I see another little sliver or two here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let me test this. Just really quickly for continuity, or rather discontinuity. Perfect. All right, so this one's done. It's moving along nicely, actually. Might get out of this alive after all. All right. Okay. I'm gonna try this. Just push down with the entire blade like this. Now, this won't work on a lot of PCBs, and in fact it doesn't even work on a lot of the parts of this PCB. But don't forget, this PCB I had to play so tightly with the tolerances that I mean, the grooves would normally be quite a bit bigger. Well, not so much bigger, but they'd actually be the right size. Okay. And by the right size, I mean that normally they should be a little deeper to allow the knife to really separate the pieces of copper. In this case, it's I mean, it's so tight, the tolerance, that I think if it was just like I've changed the blade on my knife since, and I'm not sure that it might have had an impact actually on the difficulty of getting this to come out right. Getting there, getting there. Okay. Okay. But yeah, another trick is actually run the knife backwards without the blade, or maybe you could with an awl or something to kind of just move the copper but not recut it again. See, here's the problem. Oh, and I see it actually. I just didn't cut this little bit here. Okay. Okay, wait. Okay. Perfect. All right. Okay, the next step is to cut out all the holes. Put this aside for now. So now I need to make sure that all the holes here for the switches are cleaned through. So I'm going to use the X-Acto knife to cut through all of them. Now I had a trick here last time, but I don't remember if I used the X-Acto to ream them or if I just cut and then used, did I use the drill again? I just wish I had like a, can I ream with this? Okay, yeah, I can ream with this. I'll just basically, I cut in with the knife and then I ream. And if you're working with like SMD or something like that, I think you can forget about this technique because it's just not precise enough. But if you've got through all components, it's an interesting one to have in your backpack. You know, in a bind, or or even not unbind. I mean, you know, the tools I have on hand, I just hate the etching process, you know, and I don't have a PCB, like a CNC router that can handle PCBs, so, you know, you make do with what you've got. Also, I think this technique, I mean, this is kind of proof of it, right? Like this circuit board is printed right with the structural like elements with it, which is kind of unique, right? It is a flat circuit board. It wouldn't need to be flat, but it's got all the little nifty bits right there on the same part. So I will retest for continuity after this process, because this can actually free up a bit of copper, like just these little free bits there. Okay, coming up on the end. I'm actually not doing so bad for time here. Not even, it's 1:40. That's not so bad. So the next step after this is done is to obviously put the pieces back together and then solder the switches in. And once the switches are soldered in, we can validate that the PCBs do what they should, that all the switches work properly, and we can correct the situation there if anything comes up. Though last time I didn't have any problems with switches. I mean, they are new stock, so hopefully none of them are broken or anything like that, but you never know. Okay, still looks good. Great. All right. Ooh. Okay. So let's put this back together. And then this is the part where we have to make sure that the little legs for the switches, that they stick out of the PCB as much as possible. Now, if this is the first time you've seen this, you might be wondering, wait a minute, did you print these parts out of steel or something? Isn't it going to melt when you put the solder to it? And the answer is no. I'm not 100% sure why. So for sure there's a small amount of thermal dissipation going on, right? Because it is copper. So it is kind of spreading out that heat, but you know, you can be sure that locally it's getting, you know, hot enough to melt the solder. So, I mean, I think the PLA does, honestly, I think it does glassify. I think it does have that time to get sort of a little soggy, but you really don't feel it, and it really doesn't show in the final result. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a total win. Why it's like this, I don't know. I just had the idea to try this one day, tried it out, and noticed right away that the PLA wasn't kind of giving or yielding or anything, and I was like, this seems like this could work. So I'm going to heat up this iron. I'll be right back. I'm just going to get some water. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the iron is warm. The solder is here. Yeah, okay, so I forgot to mention the legs here. Which legs? So the plastic legs provide mechanical registration. In a normal circuit, the soldered legs provide you know, the anchor point. Basically, they are the legs that make sure that that the switch doesn't fall out. It's the same thing here. So basically, the switches are being held to the tape. I wish I could put this just a little bit higher, but it's about as high as it goes. My apologies. I'll have to improve this for the future. All right. Yeah, and so since the legs are barely sticking out here, it's really a bit of a pain to solder. You have to kind of fill that hole and yeah, you're not going to get a marvelous solder job out of this specific build, but it will work. Ooh. Okay, so I did melt the PLA there. The plastic was a little bit thin. What's happening is I'm lifting the glue. I don't know if I'm like weakening the adhesive. That it's backing the tape or what. Getting there. 2 more to go. Okay. So I'm just testing all the switches out, making sure everything's all right. Perfect. First one's good to go. So it doesn't look great. You can see the soldering is it's really hard with these little tiny legs. But all you need is a good contact. And I mean, mechanically, the switches are, you know, they're resting on the bottom of the well there. They're not going to try to push out of the tape or anything when it's in the keyboard. So let's do the other one. I can angle this a little bit maybe so you can see it better. I'm not sure. Maybe I can, no, maybe opposite. Maybe I can do this. Like this. It's marginally better. All right. Let me try to. Okay, that's about right. Just a few more to go. And one more solder point. Okay. Perfect. All right, 2 out of 2. All right, so the next step is to cut up some DuPont rainbow cables and then solder these to the PCBs. Then I'll put everything back. I just realized I should probably have checked before to make sure that everything worked in this keyboard shell. It does, thank the Lord. Okay, phew. Unless the key wells, no, I don't think so. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I was saying, yes, rainbow cables. So let me get rid of this for a sec. And then let's move this camera back here. Like this maybe. And then set this aside for an instant. Rainbow cable. And I need how many? I need what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it 10? Wait, I should pull up the diagrams for this because I traced them out by hand and I'll need them as reference anyways. Okay. What is going on here? I've got some kind of OBS screw up here. I apologize. I'm trying to show the desktop, but it's not capturing. There's something weird going on here. This worked earlier. I tested it. All right, so I apologize. I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to imagine that I'm looking at these pictures here. But first, I have to remember where the pictures are. Oh, actually, I do. I'm pretty sure I do know. 3D printer. No. It's on Dropbox. Okay, PCB right, and then PCB left. Okay, so 111 needs, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I think the other one only needs 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, no, it's 10 and 11. Okay. So I'm going to cut up these cables here. Okay, so that's 10, that's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11. And then 10 should be this. That should be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. All right, that's 10. I'm gonna use a cutter and then a wire stripper. And my cutter, a bit earlier, is right here. All right, I need a better way to sort these tools. So going to cut the heads off. I don't need these connectors really because I actually can make DuPont connectors now, and I have a billion, so I have a crimping tool. It's not great, but I can use it for DuPont connectors. Okay. Same thing here. Something satisfying about seeing them fly everywhere, eh? All right. Throw this out. I can actually throw these connectors out as well. Okay. Now I'm going to split these wires up quite a bit more. might actually need to go further. Because if you look at the spread here, yeah, that's a little tight. I'm gonna go quite a bit further. It's also going to be easier to strip the cables. So, something like this. Okay, I'm going to set this to fairly short because some of these pads are not super large, but you do want to have like enough to work with there. So that's one. Oops, I'm going backwards. And the beauty of it, you don't really care like how these are connected, like which pads these are soldered to on the CD-PCB, because you can just connect them where they actually are supposed to mate on the motherboard afterwards, since they're all individual connectors, right? In fact, these could all be individual DuPont wires. Wouldn't matter. I guess it's just a little tidier to have them connected for a little bit. Okay, that's one ready. Stripped and twisted. Almost there. More to go. There's something about rainbow cables that really been destroying my heart, just working with all these colors. All right, should be done with the stripper. Okay, all right. So now let me have a quick look at the PCB layout. I'm really sorry that I can't show this on stream. It's really, I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll have to sort this out really. Okay, no, this is the other one. So Nope, it's this one. It's confused. Oh no, okay, this is good. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Yep. All right, this works. Go. So this is the one that needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this one, basically. Okay. So now, okay, this is the part that'll be a little longer. We'll use a third hand or a 10th hand, actually, as the case may be here, because there's 7 of these on here. All right. Fan going. Get the arms going. Bring the camera closer again once I have this in a better position. Okay, so I'm putting it in the vise. I'm going to put it at the very top of the vise. I don't really need a super tight grip on this thing. Okay. Yeah. I apologize. I mean, I'll get better equipment over the years, hopefully. In the meantime, this will have to do. Okay, so let's try to angle it so you can see a little bit what I'm doing. All right. Even though it's not an ideal position for me to work with, but that's fine. That's totally fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna start out by soldering this white lead to this part of the PCB. Twist this again because okay. This is going to be not a very fast process, but again, with this type of PCB, you have to kind of throw your expectations out the window regarding what it should look like. It's a little, it definitely looks different. It doesn't look as tidy as a normal PCB. Let me just, okay. Whoops, what's going on here? Okay, it's 2 down. I should use the fan. That's what I should do. Okay. So just working down my way down the pads. Getting there. This one's going to be a little trickier. I have to kind of reach over the jaw. All right, that's not so bad. The upside is you're soldering to, like, there's no solder mask, right? So like everything is copper, it's super easy. You're just like, this looks like a good place to solder. So it's not constraining. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. The other one's one less conductor, so it'll be like 9% less long. Apologies. Oops. See, one of the things you kind of want to be careful about those. This is stranded wire, right? So want to make sure that any of those strands are not going to cause short circuits, even though everything is exposed. So the odds of this happening are higher. Okay, that looks good. All right, that's one down. So it's connected to all these cute little wires. I'll take that out and do the second one. Looks good. Just visually inspecting it. All right, next. Ooh, did I? Okay, that's fine. Okay. So for this one, I want the screw hole on the left. Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. And then okay. Alright. Soldering this second PCB. Okay. Yes, I remember this pad from the other one. It's quite small. I'm going to trim these leads down a little bit. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now almost halfway done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, just almost halfway done. Alright. Okay, I just need to twist this a little more. Sorry, I'm getting quiet, I'm getting tired. This is past my bedtime. But it'll be great to be able to use this tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it working. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't work, but last time I did have sort of one ornery contact. See, I think part of the answer as to why the PLA doesn't melt is can actually be seen when you're soldering just these straight cables to the tape. You can't get the whole puddle to melt at once. I mean, you could if you just stuck the iron there, but you've got a good few seconds there, and it's kind of actually, the solder freezes very, very locally. It settles. It reverts back to solid state. Sorry. All right. I trim this one too. So it's almost as though I don't know, yes, the heat dissipation, yes, is strong enough to, oops, did I get that wrong? No, I didn't, okay. This one I have. Yes, I'm getting ready for bed. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, did I miss one? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What? Yes, 11. I thought that was 11. Oh crap, I have one too many cables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, yeah, this is the one with 10. So I got one too many. All right. Okay. Get in there. Potentially last solder point. All right. I'm just gonna really quickly test these again to make sure nothing's gone wrong. Leave the iron on for now, but sorry, I'm off camera. Just realized that. Apologies. I'm just doing the same old, same old. All right. Okay, at this point, what remains to be done is to put things back together and connect it all. So, just gonna put a few tools away that I don't need anymore. Hopefully, I can turn off the iron. Well, actually, let me just quickly tin it. All right. Okay, so I might need. I'm excited. I know it doesn't show, but I'm excited. All right. Okay. This does look a little different to the other one, to the other keyboard. Okay, but luckily everything still fits and lines up. I hope. So I've got these screws here I need to put to hold things in place. These replace the OEM screws, and they use a conveniently placed screw post that was just not used. This is a yellow. Wait. Sorry, I think the screwdriver's on my 3D printer. Be right back. It's not. The plot thickens. Just to check, but it says not. Oh, it is the right screwdriver. Okay, well, whatever. I don't know where the other one is, but I'll find it later. Okay. And then I'm going to screw this in. Starting to look like something. Okay, so put the motherboard back in. Bring this back. Screws. one actual screw for the motherboard. Are you kidding me? No, okay, phew. Yeah, it's a little different. Oh my god, are you kidding me? It doesn't fit. No, 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 no. Are you kidding me? It's like a millimeter bigger than the old one. Okay, wait. I can make this fit. I can make this fit. This has to fit. Okay. Okay. Better fit. Sorry. The star head screwdriver. Phillips head. Okay. This will fit. This will fit. I just need to put the motherboard in before, but I didn't have this problem in the old keyboard, so I should have checked my stuff before I embarked blindly on this journey. But luckily, it seems they haven't changed too many things, so here's hoping I can make it to port. Okay, and put these back in. Put the long screw right away for the ferrite bead. So just make sure this lines up properly. Oops. All right. Put in the other screws. In case by this point people are wondering, I talked about this in the first episode, but I guess it's worth mentioning here again that like people are like, well, why don't you just buy new keyboards? Because the new ones that they make, they're all like this. They're made, you know, with the mechanical switches, and you know, for sure they must feel better. And well, there's a couple of reasons, right? One of them is that both of these keyboards I've had for a very long time. The other one was 15 years. This one, I think it's been a little less time, because I think I bought it when I left. It's been 10 years, this one. So, but 10 years is a long time, so there's an emotional value to these. Besides, it's only the function keys. Everything else works, so I'm more of a fixer than a throw outer. And I mean, you know, it's a cool project. So it's a number of things, right? And in the end, you know, someday probably they will stop working, or something will happen and I won't be able to repair it, or I'll just throw in the towel and maybe buy some new keyboards. But until then I'm happy to try to fix these and keep using them. So this is nice though, this revision of the keyboard that has these ribbons for the key wells. It's a nice improvement for me. The tinkerer. Okay, I should make sure that these line up properly. Okay. And if you're wondering why I'm putting all this back together before testing it, the answer is that it's actually very difficult to hold everything in place and test it all without the keyboard being in the shell. So from doing the last one, I figured that this would be the best way to move forward. So I'm gonna put this key well back in too. Well, everything looks like it's gonna line up properly, which is making me very happy. And unless they change the inside of the shell on the other side, which doesn't look like they did, there would be no real reason to, I guess. Then I think this should just, fingers crossed, should just work. Okay, so now I've got the motherboard back in. I've got these ready to be connected back to the main board. I've got these that I'm going to connect here to the headers. And then I just got to test it. Oh, and I won't be able to show the testing screen. This sucks. You know what? I'm going to turn the webcam back to face the monitor. That's what I'm going to do. DIY solution. So put this back in, and then clamp the connector down, put this back in, and then clamp the connector down. You gotta make sure that it's really straight, otherwise you can damage stuff. This looks good. Okay, now. Let me This is so janky. All right. Okay. So I'm going to look up these pictures. Yeah, okay. So you can see a little bit of what I'm doing there. Sorry about this low tech this low tech solution. All right. Now I need to connect everything in the right place. So okay. Sorry. Okay, so the first one, bottommost conductor. Oh, did they skip one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Okay, so they skip a pin. Okay, so the bottommost pin is the yellow, which goes to the third switch from the left side, which is purple. Okay, purple. Purple is the bottom pin. Okay. Next is blue, which is the second switch from the right side. Second switch from right side, that's white. Okie dokie. Okay, just connecting stuff here. Okay. Third pin is turquoise, which is 4th and 5th and 6th. Okay, so 4, 5, 6. Let's green. Okay, so green. And red is the 6th switch from the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, left side. That is yellow. Ah, no, wait. I'm misconnecting this. So the first 2 pins, then skip 1, then turquoise, and then yellow, I said, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, left side, yes. Yellow. Okay. Then that's 1, 2, 3, 4 connected, yes. Then the 5th one is purple, which is 5th switch right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right side, blue. Okay. So blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so then there's what? 5 left. That looks right. And then it's leftmost. Yeah, leftmost. So that's black. Wait. How is this possible? Wait. Connected. This is a 13 pin connector, but I've got 10. I can only assume that that's the top pin here. So I went about it the wrong way. What about this one? Yeah, you can see here. Oh wait, I don't have the connector here, but you gotta assume that this is the top pin, eh? Okay, I'm gonna have to start that over. Okay, I'm gonna pull these out. That's fine. Okay, I'll go with this one first. Change of pace, change of mind. Okay, so let's start with the top pin then. That's green. That is first switch, right side. Whoops, something wrong with the tripod here. Okay. Okay, so right side, that is black. Black is the first pin at the top. Okay. Then comes blue, which is second switch right side. Second switch right side, that is brown. Okay, for the second half of the keyboard, I'll show you what I'm doing here. Red, which is for second switch left side. That's white. White, but this white, not the other white. Okay. Yellow, which is third switch left side. 1, 2, 3. Left side is red. Okay, red. Then it's cyan, which is third switch from the left, right side, and a bunch of others. 1, 2, 3, switch right side and others, which is actually the top white. Okay, so top white. I remember this ordering, this skipping of the conductors. I had this on the other keyboard as well. I had to start over. I remember this now. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's magenta, which is rightmost, and then 2. So this is purple. Okay, then yellow, which is third from the right, left side, right, left side, so that's blue. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is blue. Blue is second switch from the left, from the right, right side. Right side, that is sort of a grayish gray. Okay. Okay, I'm going to unweave these connectors here. Oh, did I disconnect something? I think I may have. Okay, I said gray. Gray is right side. Yeah. It's blue. That's third. Okay. Okay, and now third from last is green, which is fourth from the left, right side, and fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right side, along with the next one. The next one, that's yellow. Okay. And red, which is fourth from the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left side, that's orange. Uh-oh, what's going on here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, that
Picture is a little blurry. And then the last one hopefully will be purple, which is 5th from the left, right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right side, green. That's great. Okay. Okay. So what's going on here is I've taken that picture to help me guide this connection point here. I wanted to make sure that everything was connected properly. So these wires, they go and they connect back here to the various parts of the PCB. Now when this all closed up, it's going to be a little flatter. It's going to be more like this. It's going to sit flush, kind of like that. Ribbon cable just goes around. There's actually ample space here in the shell. $2:49. Wow, I'm actually kind of on pace. 2 hours and 49. Okay, so next I'm going to look at this other picture for the other side. Start at the top, work my way down. All right, top is green. Green is rightmost left side. Rightmost left side, that is gray. Okay, then red is rightmost right side. Orange. Sorry, my apologies. Okay, then blue. Yeah, blue. So second from the left, right side. Second from the left, right side. That's red. Okay, and yellow, it's leftmost right side, it's brown, gray, mud. Okay, you can actually see even just a little bit what I'm doing, sort of. I'm connecting stuff, all right. All right. That's 4 down, and it's leftmost left, which is black. Steps a little tricky, but once they're in there, they stay connected, you know, so it's not so bad. Okay. That's 5 down, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then purple, which is 5th on the left, right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right side, I said, eh? That's blue. Okay, blue. Am I skipping anything? Nope. Okay. 4 from the left side. Left side. That is yellow. Okay. And one more. Then we skip. Okay, so turquoise. So it's 4th from the left. Right side. Green. Okay,
There are 5 pins left. 2, 3, 4, 5. So skip one, and then
second from the right side. That's white. But first we skip one. And then yellow, which is third from right, left side. Third from right, left side. That is purple. Perfect. And then what we think is 2 more that are unused. Okay, so in principle, this is it. Should work. And now the easy way to test this is to use keyboard tester. Ah man, I really wish this worked. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's just not capturing anything. I'm really not sure. Maybe Windows updated this machine today, I don't know. Alright. Okay. Well, it's time to just crap. Ah yes, I remember I spilled Soylent into this keyboard at one point, back when Soylent was still legal in Canada. Okay, so the easy way to test this is to use Keyboard Tester, as I mentioned. That's a cool website. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? Okay. Why is this not lining up? Oh, it'll line up when it's closed. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this in. So let's see. Whoops. For some reason, the backspace key is stuck somehow. Okay, so it looks like the Okay, so the key wells work. Now I'm gonna go keyboard tester. Okay, this is the one I've been using. So let me check here. Escape. F1, F2, F3, F4, F5,
F6, F7, F8. That's half the keys that work first time. F9. Okay, maybe F10's gone. Whoop, the backspace thing going on. Okay, that might be just a ribbon. Okay. Okay, that's remap. Okay, remap works because I can turn the. Okay, wait. Go on here. Okay, then F11, F12. Can't remember what that key is. Ah, yes, okay. Unlock. Might be program or something. Pause. Okay, nice. So only F10 that somehow something. Okay, I'll have to. Oh wait, I see a couple wires that have been pulled out here. There we go. Oh my gosh. First try! Okay, so I'm going to put this back together and then test it again. Okay, trying to make sure nothing gets pinched or otherwise damaged. So this is the important bit. These connections, these rainbow cables running here, the PCBs with the cherry MLs. And then this bit just goes right back in there. Shelf should fit properly. My bad, my apologies. Such a I wonder if I should actually put a piece of electrical tape on this to try to keep the parts in place or something. I guess I could do that. All right. Got Super 33 somewhere. This is a brand new roll. I can't find it. Alright, well, I was better organized. I wouldn't have to do this. I would just open this brand new roll. Super 33. One of the best things known to mankind. I was actually in the Home Depot on my birthday one day, and I was like, you know what? I feel like buying myself something nice. And I was in the electrical tape alley, and I started reading electrical tape reviews online. So I was wondering why there were all these bargain bins at the bottom, you know, like, you know, $2, $1, whatever, for like sometimes like, you know, $3 for like 5 rolls. And then there's this one sort of at the top, and it's like $7 for 1 roll. I'm like, what makes this so expensive? I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's just so much better than the rest of the options. It's crazy. And the secret to it is the fact, I was reading a review online before I bought it, and I completely agree with the electrician who said this. He said that the secret is the fact that it stretches a little bit, and then it takes its shape back quite slowly. So you put it somewhere, and then you press it down, and then it kind of slowly wraps itself around whatever it is you taped it to. I'm not looking to tape things down very hard here. I just want to get them out of the way a little bit. I know this is probably going to come apart eventually, but that's fine as long as it's in the case. Okay, all right. So I'm going to put some of the screws back in. I'm only going to put 2 screws back in, and then I'm going to test everything again because the other one gave me a little bit of trouble, though this one inspires me a little more, but okay. All the switches line up, that's good. I'm just gonna test again just to be sure. Okay, reset. Looks great. It's just this backspace thing. What's going on there? Backspace is here, right? Okay, the thing is, this keyboard's been in disuse for so long that it's possible it's actually the switch that's, because none of the rest of the key well is acting up like this, and let me just really quickly check. Oh yeah, there's something with RDP as well. Okay, let me try to close this up. Apologies, I'm getting tired here. I'm really... If this works, next steps will be cleaning the keyboard thoroughly, changing the wrist pads, and then using it. Okay.
something going on here. I think I've got a short circuit. I think it happened when I closed up the keyboard. Check this really quickly. Hopefully it's nothing too major. No backspace on the numeric keypad, is there? Unless... Gosh, where did the screw go? Oh, there it is, sorry. Alright. Okay, where's this backslash thing going on? This is here. Okay, nothing going on there. Okay, let me try to, just to be positive there, let me just try to plug this ribbon back in. I think maybe it wasn't seated properly or something. Okay, let's try this. Gosh. Okay. It's registering as backspace. How's this registering as backspace? I don't get this. Okay, wait. Okay.
Heads up. Keyboard narrator.
Okay, wait.
Welcome to narrator. Unabit exiting narrator.
Okay, I'm gonna have to reconnect RDP because I think something's going on weird there. Let me try to test locally. Okay, let me try to test what's going on. Here.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, okay, there's something going on here. I mean, yeah, that's normal. Okay, let's see what happens if I screw this back in. Wrong screwdriver. Oh, did I lose the keyboard hub? I did, okay. Test locally. See, this is wrong. There's something about there's a false contact. Wow. That's print screen, okay, that works. Print screen. There's something between the last three. It's not quite right. Is it getting stuck or what's going on here exactly? Love to get this working. Love to get this working. Know that it works. In like a I know that it works.
in a normal type of situation. So what's going on here with these switches? Is there an extra little floof that I can't see maybe? Okay, let me use the knife again. Okay, what's going on here? Let me test the continuity again between these little bits. Okay, let's see what it gives there. And to top it off, my amp ran out of battery. So here we are. Screw the right half. Right, this looks promising. Okay, this looks promising. This looks promising. Worked a second ago. Okay. So clearly, here's something with the second to last. Okay, second to last switch. What's wrong with that? Okay, getting there, getting there. Let's not give up. Give up. Okay. Let's have another look. Let's have another look. What's going on with the switch? Okay. Use the knife again. I may have found the problem. So I definitely did not have this much trouble last time. I had a bit of trouble, but not this much. And the problems I had were quite easy to find. And I mean, in a lot of cases, you're not kind of putting a PCB under like such mechanical strain either. This really is a worst case kind of scenario. Okay, all right, I'm feeling it. It's the one. All right, let's go back to local. Works. All right. All right. Yes. Okay. Now I just need to put in the rest of the screws. Hopefully this is a no-brainer. And then the keycaps. And then elation. All right, this works. It works. It tests properly. All right, so tomorrow we'll be changing these pads. That's enough for tonight. For now, I'm going to put in these keycaps, which is a very satisfying part. Just going to disconnect the keyboard first. Hopefully I can show you guys what this looks like as a finished product. Kind of have to push hard on the keys, the keycaps, so they'll stay in. Whoops. This one's a little cheeky. Alright. Starting to look like an actual keyboard again. It's interesting. I made a very small design change to the STL file, or to the model, I guess, for this, to taper the keycaps just a little bit, the edges, so that the base would be a little wider than the top. And I'm liking that change so far. I might actually reprint the keycaps for the other keyboard. It feels, keys feel a little less wobbly. And this will be it. Come on, last key. Last keycap. All right. What? It's the last one that binds. Come on. Got it off at an angle. All right, good enough. Time for one last test. Close the window. Beautiful. And it works. All right. This is great. This is great. I'm super happy. Super happy. Ultra tired. Ultra tired. I'll show you what this looks like. Okay, these are dirty, but these are what the keys look like. And I mean, they have that nice tactile mechanical feeling. And that's it. It's the end result. Just looks sort of like, not quite like a real one because there's no legends and these are clearly 3D printed, but the feel is very similar. And there you go. So that's it. It's about, what, 3.5 hours, pretty much on the dot, for conversion of Advantage V1 with rubber dome switches to Advantage V1 with mechanical switches in the function rows. Thank you very much for sticking around. If you've stuck around this long, I'm definitely going to bed, but I will be enjoying this keyboard tomorrow. All right. Cheers, everybody. Bye.